Thank you, Red Cloud. Thank you for being here. Grade, scale, location, and infrastructure. And a lovely picture of a drill turning in Montana about 2 weeks ago on the famous Stillwater complex. So Group 10 was active through the bear market cycle there, acquiring good assets. I'm going to touch on the three main assets in the company, but really we're focused on that Stillwater project as the flagship. So I'm going to talk about that at length. But at the moment, touch on the other two. We have a Kluane nickel project. This is a platinum group nickel copper project in the Kluane belt of the Yukon. And then we have a high-grade gold asset in Ontario that adjoins Treasury Metals and First Mining's Goldland project. We're effectively monetizing these now on good terms as the right buyers come along in order to focus in Montana. We've done one deal in the Yukon so far, about 3 months ago, really good deal. And you'll see, I think, more on the Ontario asset in particular as well in the coming quarter. Each of these projects, large brownfield position, acquired during the bear market at bear market prices, and adjoining high-grade deposits or producers, some of the best of their type. Excellent team, very well versed in money raising and markets and in doing deals with majors. Greg Johnson in particular saw NovaGold from 10 cents to 2 billion market cap. Myself, I've been in the industry since 1990, and the rest of the bios are there in the deck if you'd like to peruse. Technical team we're very strong on. In particular, take note of David Broughton, who's Robert Friedland's right-hand man. So that is Ivanhoe's chief geologist. He joined our team almost exactly 1 year ago. He likes what he sees in Montana. He agrees with that Platreef analog that we're drawing. And he is credited as one of the co-discoverers of Ivanhoe's Platreef mines. So that is a significant validation for us and excellent technical insight to have. Craig Bowe was underground at Stillwater in the 80s, and then three of the other names here, Mike Austenson, Justin Madru, Mike Johnson, were the juniors that did the work before me, and I have their database, including 12,000 meters of their core, and that has assisted our effort. These are our target commodities. We're not indecisive. These actually all occur together. It's not that we can't pick one. It's a nickel copper sulfide system. And it's enriched in platinum group elements, including platinum, palladium, rhodium, which is actually not shown here, and cobalt and gold. So that's our land position, and it's remarkable for a junior to have a land position like this. In gray, you have Sibanye Stillwater. Sibanye, of course, bought the Stillwater mines for $2.2 billion in 2017. At the same time, we were negotiating acquisition and staking actively that yellow portion. So we have the entire other half of the Stillwater complex. Excellent infrastructure, roads shown in red there. The three producing mines, the highest grade platinum palladium mines in the world, 80 million ounces with a staggering half ounce per ton grade, all occurring in this little burgundy line there. The deposit is literally a meter thick. It's dipping into the screen from there. It's a layered system. They have a complex up in Columbus, Montana that they process in. It's a very good area to be mining in. So we're going to compare layered ultramafic systems here. You've got the Bushveld of South Africa on the left there. And the layered sequence is shown in the green. 75% of the world's platinum comes from that Merensky Reef. And it's remarkable how parallel that is to the JM Reef in Stillwater, which is the highest grade reef in the world. Both about maybe 2.5 kilometers into that layered magmatic system. Deep in these magmatic systems, you get these larger magma mixing chamber events, and that's where you get, in the north limb of the Bushveld, these Platreef mines. These are the new age of platinum mining, and effectively what Group 10 is doing is bringing that new age of platinum mining to Montana, based on the parallels that are there. So in the Platreef of South Africa, that's where you get Anglo's Mogalakwena mine. the largest platinum mine in the world, pit mine, sorry, in the world, and sub $400 per ounce production, 265 million ounce deposit. Right against that to the north, you've got Ivanhoe's Platreef mine with 112 million ounces, tens of billions of pounds of copper and nickel. And also Platinum Group Metals Waterberg is in that same system. What we have at Stillwater and what you'll see in the subsequent slides were defined in the 60s and 70s, to some degree in the 2000s by drilling also in that lower part of the layered system. So at Stillwater, the whole system has been tipped up by the mountains to the south, making it very mining friendly and giving us mineralization that starts at surface, sometimes for 400 meters or more in a single drill hole. So there's the layered sequence, there's the JM Reef deposit, that's the 80 million ounces at half ounce per ton. Sibanye Stillwater is now producing right in there, sort of 1-2 kilometers down. And then we're focused on the orange and purple rocks over there on the left side. So what does it mean to be reef and Platreef? These are South African terms that sometimes are confusing to Western ears. Reef is similar to a vein in a sense. It's a different geological term, but it's narrow, it's high grade, can be expensive to mine. In fact, that's what it looks like inside the Merensky Reef. These mines are deep, they're hot, they've been underfunded, they're closing, and we think the closures of those mines is going to drive the platinum price substantially this year and next year. Platreef, you could think of more as being like a porphyry system, big, disseminated, bulk mineable system. Nickel copper sulfide enriched in nickel, copper, and cobalt. So we like these widths here. The deposits of the Platreef are typically 19 to even hundreds of meters thick, running 0.2, 0.3 nickel, and 2 or 4 grams PGEs thrown in. It's some of the best real estate in the world for mining. Won't spend too long on this. This is just a quick summary of our soil data. That's across 18 kilometers, right? So that's sort of 18 by 3 kilometers lighting up with nickel and copper and PGMs and gold. This is a summary of some data compilation we've been doing. These blue ellipses are what we're calling the Platreef target areas. That was done in conjunction with Dave Braultman of Ivanhoe. He has recognized, they've recognized at Platreef that these systems occur in sort of basins. So you get these conductive highs that are running 1 to 4 kilometers in size, and that's what we see at Stillwater. The best conductive highs in purple there, the highest level conductors, have never been systematically tested. That's something that we're working on right now. Of course, there's a relationship that we're seeing between nickel sulfide content and the conductivity. So we know those purple conductive highs are indeed copper, nickel, sulfide. We also have reef type targets, which are not so much our focus, but they occur where you'd expect them to, higher in the layered sequence. Zooming in on the 5 most advanced areas, we have 205 drill holes in the database across that 25 kilometers. 28,000 meters of total core. We have 12,000 meters in our possession. In these 5 areas, the drill data holds together and defines mineralized bodies that we expect to move quickly to formal 43-101 resources. The drill program this year is focusing on the Chrome Mountain, Camp Zone, and Iron Mountain target areas. In fact, we've just finished drilling at Iron Mountain. We're now on Camp Zone. In each of these areas, you've got a large body. You've got the stats there. Typically 850 meters in strike, a couple of hundred meters thick. Defined by historic drilling. 2/3 of that drilling does not have PGE data. A lot of it was done in the 60s and 70s. So it's our job to bring all that into spec and bring all that into a formal resource capacity. Our internal block model work shows 2 or 3 million ounces there already. of platinum group elements, plus maybe 1 billion pounds copper nickel. And that's not compliant. The drill program that's underway right now will do a lot to advance that and bring them on the table. That's the potential that we see. And that's before systematically getting into those conductive highs. It's worth noting also that Dave Broughton advises that that single target area right there, the camp zone, would fit the whole Platreef deposit, which is 112 million ounces. So our thesis here is that we've got multiple potential Platreef deposits. If you do a magnetic vector inversion to look deeper in the rocks, we have kilometer scale of targets going down as well. This is a tool that was used at Platreef. It was very successful in identifying an extension of their deposit. And it looks like it's working here very nicely. Each of these names in yellow are the known mineralized zones that you saw on the previous slide. And they're popping out there, going kilometers down into the system. There's a lot of expansion potential on this project. This is probably a slide that's better read in person. There's a bit of detail going on there. This is one of many cross-sections that we've compiled, where we're bringing together the historic data with the core that we have in the shack. So you've got holes from 2004 mixed in with holes from the 60s and 70s. The 355 series holes are by AMEX. The bulk of the work was by them. This portion in here, in particular, is showing up as a lovely high-grade zone, about 27 meters thick, running about 0.75 nickel, about half that copper. And limited PGE data, but very encouraging where we do have it. We've now taken that hole down about, well, almost off the screen here. And we're just setting up to drill a hole coming in from the left side there to investigate further on that one. We're very encouraged by what we see. It's fitting the model, and we're excited. Previous to that, we tested the Iron Mountain target area. This hole in particular, one of the strongest on the property historically, drilled in 1973 by AMEX. 259 meters of continuous mineralization, 0.25 nickel, 0.2 copper, limited PGE data. But in this 27 meter intercept in the core of that, it's running 2.7 grams palladium over 3 meters. So we know it's got the right multi-gram potential for platinum groups. And in a nice size too. 27 meters is a Platreef sort of a size. We have since finished that hole, taken it deeper. It'll have complete assays for the first time. We then went off to the south side there, and then we did an offset cutting in between the two. And those results will be coming out in the coming weeks here. So that's a wrap on Stillwater. We acquired it in 2017. We did a lot of data compilation work, and our first ground programs in 2018. Drilled it for the first time just recently, and the results of those efforts will be coming out in the coming weeks and months, along with an updated, our debut resource model, in addition to that, in 2020 at some point. We continue to work on the monetization of non-core assets. It's an exciting time for the company. Any questions?
Thank you, Michael. Does anyone have any questions?
Can you talk about the share structure of the company?
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? Thank you. It's been a long day. We have 80 million shares outstanding and about 16 million market cap at present. I think the company is significantly undervalued given what we're sitting on, even given the other assets, let alone Stillwater. We've recently engaged Red Cloud to get this story out and work with us on promotion. We completed a raise just a few weeks ago, 2.5 million raised, and that's driving the current drill program. That was at 14 cents.
Who are the major institutional holders?
That's grown very nicely in the past year and a half. Yeah, US Global is a big component there. Also a fund out of Europe, and some Canadian funds as well. Yeah.
How are you finding Montana? Are you on BLM lands, private lands, Forest Service, and how's it going there?
We're on forest land, and actually it's going very well. They're actually asking us if they gave good service, which I didn't expect. These are some of the fastest drill permits I've ever got, I have to say. I went in eyes wide open, but it's a very mining-friendly county. They have the highest wages in the state, thanks to the mines there. And the U.S., the government, right, has just listed 4 of our commodities as being of strategic importance, right? They want to secure a domestic supply. So I'm not sure if that's playing a factor, but yeah, no problems at all. We're actually quite happy working with them. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.